when he has to tell the truth. If there was truth to tell, little of it came out the following day in Reston's front-page story. President Kennedy, if not pleased, has had his first major experience in Cold War diplomacy and has come out of it very well, the last lines read. He did not expect much and he did not get much, but he went away from here more experienced, and he now rates more highly in the estimation of the men who watched these exchanges than he has at any time since he entered the White House. In fact, as he had admitted to Reston, Kennedy had come out poorly against his shrewd adversary. Kennedy loved what he called the chess game of power, but he had been outplayed and he knew it. A political cartoon published after the summit conveyed his humiliation. Kennedy and Khrushchev at opposite ends of a chessboard in front of a sign that reads, "The Boy Wonder versus the Grand Master," with Kennedy dressed in a schoolboy's uniform, sitting atop two large tomes to reach the table, turning to Allied Western leaders behind him to report, "Then I moved a pawn, and we adjourned." Just over 4 months earlier, Kennedy's presidency had begun as promisingly as any since Franklin Roosevelt had taken office in the depths of the Great Depression. Though he had defeated his Republican challenger, Vice President Richard Nixon, by just 0.2 of a percentage point in the presidential election the previous November, Kennedy had quickly captured the imagination and esteem of the American people as he became the youngest president-elect in history at age 43. Handsome and charismatic, he radiated glamour unrivaled by any of the men who had preceded him as chief executive, all suited to an evolving television age in which image had become a greater political asset. Indeed, JFK had assumed the presidency with incomparable grace. As Nixon later put it, Kennedy was one that attracted the people who wanted a young, courageous man in the presidency, and yet one who was suave, smooth, debonair, and graceful. Basically, that was the mark of royalty. Accessorizing his regal aura was his wife Jackie, who cast elegance and celebrity flair of her own, their 2 young children, Caroline and John Jr., 3 years old and 2 months old upon their father's inauguration, and the vivacious, extended Kennedy clan, one of America's wealthiest families. Along with Kennedy, all of them would captivate the media throughout his tenure in office. Kennedy's luminescent inauguration had only added to his allure, throwing a golden hue on his fledgling presidency. His inaugural speech oratory, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," instantly became an eternal expression of American ideals, while his declaration that the U.S. would pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship to assure the survival and success of liberty was a clarion call to stand up to communist aggression across the world. Civil rights leader and future Congressman John Lewis was among the many inspired by the new president. His whole demeanor and personality gave you a sense of hope and optimism, Lewis said, a sense that you could do almost anything, that you could go any place you wanted to go. Despite his favorable first days out of the gate, in mid-April, Kennedy stumbled with the order of a secret operation of U.S.-trained Cuban exiles to overthrow the Castro regime. The cadre's landing at Cuba's Bay of Pigs was a disaster. Within 24 hours, the CIA-led mission had been vanquished by Castro's military, resulting in the deaths of 114 and the capture of more than 1,100 others as the world looked on. It was a devastating defeat for Kennedy. Yet Americans proved willing to forgive their young president, who publicly owned up to his failure and resolved to do better. Incredibly, his approval rating soared to 83%, the highest he would see in the White House. Hardly earned.